Welcome to a special edition of WICR.
Stop broadcast.
What?
Don't you say stop broadcast?
No, because it'll interfere with the other. Yeah. All right, so welcome to a special edition of WICR. This is Election Day coverage, and my co host Dave Horvath is joining me this morning to talk about it. So we have some things to talk about. Right now, the electoral map, as we know, is a big thing in every election. Trump currently has 164 electoral votes. Meanwhile, Clinton has 203.
Projections, though.
Yeah.
Projections. Make sure you throw that in there, so people don't get thrown off from that. But yes.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not permanent. You know, that they could go either way. So this it's going to be an interesting one, definitely. And there's 171 that could go either way, which are toss-ups. So the swing states that we have are Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Florida, Georgia. Georgia? Oh, you don't hear too much about that. North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, New Hampshire, and Maine. And you know what's interesting about Michigan is that it was blue for, this whole duration of the campaign, and now it's a battleground state because it could go either way. Because I think the main part of Michigan is that it's with Detroit and the auto industry. Like they're tired of those jobs being shipped out, overseas to Mexico, and they're just fed up with that. And 8 years went by, and yes, you had. I'm not sure if you remember, but remember Obama did the Clash for Clunkers.
Yes.
And that that was like the auto industry bailout. Whether that did much, I mean, it definitely got Chrysler and GM back on their feet, but I think people are just exploring their options, and especially with this new Clinton thing that came out, that'll be an interesting thing. So what do you think of everything in this stage of actually on election day?
I think it's crazy that we are actually here. We've been talking about it for months. People that tune into Matt and I's regularly weekly show know we've been talking about this for over a year now. We've been talking about this, and it's here now.
Yeah.
And this is the day, people. Vote. I know Matt voted this morning. It's 7 a.m. God bless him. Probably got up at 4:30 in the morning and said, I have to go vote. I sent my ballot in last week because I'm not from New York, so sent my absentee ballot in.
Yeah.
It's go vote because, again, Matt and I reiterate this on our show. If you don't vote, you can't complain.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, tonight we will know who the next president of this country is.
But what's interesting? I was watching the CBS Evening News last night, and they were saying that in Utah there's this independent candidate running. The media never covers him because he is projected to win possibly the whole state of Utah. Utah has 6 electoral votes, and this may be the breaker in this election, because if Clinton nor Trump, if they don't win Utah, then it could very well be a split election, and we may not know the winner for weeks, because if Trump or Hillary don't get the 270 that they need to win this election, the House of Representatives then has to pick who the president will be. The House of Representatives is not all Republican, but majority is Republican, so they will side with Trump, hopefully.
You would think that, but you don't know.
Yeah.
He's been a lot of enemies. I guess, I don't know, it's only 6 votes. I guess, yeah, in the retrospect, yeah, it's 6 votes. Could end up being a lot, but I don't think it's going to really affect
that's
too
rare.
much.
That's rare. Yeah.
I know your thing shows. I see people you can't see, but Matt has a color-coded map where certain states are darker. That there's like darker blue, light blue, medium blue, dark red, red, gray obviously being the battleground. I'm assuming the darker the state is, the more likelihood they're going to go that way. So it's just kind of interesting. Just notice the amount of states up for grab. Kind of fathoms me. Really, shows your vote does matter. You
It
may not
does.
think it doesn't.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to see, and I'm very interested to see because I've been a big believer in this, and I'm against the system in a way. I believe that it shouldn't go down to this electoral college; it should go down to votes.
Yeah.
If you want to be the people's president, president that we, the people, get to choose, it should be whoever gets the most votes win. That's how I've always believed it. People that always thought so Al Gore beat Bush. I said yes, so Al Gore did beat Bush. And they're like, well, that doesn't. He lost. I'm like, no, he won. He had more votes. He wins. That's how it should be. I think I don't know. To me, that just seems clear cut because I guess yes, I know the reason they did this electoral is certain states have more people, so they should get more say. Well, yeah, you still are getting say. You still are. You're just. It's whoever gets the most votes. I get that then people could say it's popularity, but you know what? No, it's whoever the people themselves want. If we, the people, are supposed to control how this country is being run and not, have the select few that get to make all these decisions without our input because we're the ones that have we get the benefits or we feel also, we feel both ends of it.
Yeah.
We should get to say what happens.
I agree. It's as we know, New York has always been Democrat. We have 29 in this state, and you didn't really see, being that we go to college in New York, you never saw either candidate campaign in New York because
Just assume
because it's not surprising because it's always been going to Democrats. And this morning they said on GMA that Trump went to 40 states throughout the campaign, and Hillary went to 37. So when you think about that, that's a lot. I mean, because of course they can't, or they choose not to go to all 50 because really what they have to focus on is
certain states.
Yeah, because that's just what it comes down to. Because if you don't get the battleground states, then it's
you lose.
Yeah. Now they were saying that Nevada is looking like it's going to be Democratic because the Democrats have an early advantage when it comes to early voting and Hispanics and Latinos and other minorities. And then in Pennsylvania, it's going back and forth, it seems, the past couple of days. North Carolina, that's also an important one. As you may remember, Barack Obama back in 2012 won it. Won North Carolina, and that's traditionally gone to the Democrats all these years. It'll be interesting to see.
Very. And I don't know, another side note. Because we don't have numbers yet, we do know, I say as of last night, this morning, right after midnight, they did have the first official voting, was a small county in New Hampshire. 8 people voted, and it went to
Right.
Clinton. So I guess congratulations to her. It's kind of funny because 8 people voted, and it's like, wow, so many. But something I found interesting was, I think, is it Oregon, Matt, or is it Washington? That there's a guy, because at the end of the day, people don't realize the electoral votes, people hold those votes. They're supposed to vote off of what the population or what the people of that state want, but that's not true. Technically, there's a man who has come out, I cannot remember if he's in Oregon or Washington, who said it does not matter if Clinton was to win the state, his vote, he will not vote for her. He will not give his electoral vote to her. So I found that interesting that that hearing that, because you're supposed to really, as a when you're working for the electoral college, you're supposed to give that vote in. But that's where I've even found some interesting issues, because at the end of the day, if you're going to tell me there's 6 people who hold the 6 electoral votes in Utah, and say they all 6 of them hate both Trump and Clinton, They may just go independent because they want to do that. And where it's like the state itself could be voting for Clinton, or the state itself could be voting for Trump. So that's interesting. It's also interesting because when you had the runnings to see who would be the who would win the nominations for the DNC and the RNC, you could split states. You could split your votes where it doesn't matter in the Electoral College. It's like, nope, nada, you win by a vote, you win. So it's like states like Florida, for instance, all Clinton needs is one more vote in Florida than Trump, and Clinton wins all, 26 electoral votes?
Florida has 29.
29. So it's interesting enough to just see how everything changes once you go to presidential, whereas in the other runnings it wasn't like that.
The thing that seems unfair in a way is that 30 states have early voting, and in some states people are allowed to change their vote. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, some people probably or have changed their opinion on Clinton when that whole thing came out about, the investigation was being reopened. It has since been closed yet again. Director Comey said on Sunday that there's no new evidence, which I find to be kind of ridiculous, and I'm not trying to be biased here. No matter who you're supporting, you have to agree that it is suspicious that in just, 8-9 days, they went through over 600,000 emails. Yes, they use this software in which it can detect whether emails were like duplicates that they looked at. This is all going back. This all ties into Huma Abedin, her closest aide, and then to her ex-husband Anthony Weiner on a laptop. And as you know, he's been accused of or has sexted teenagers, so there was a question whether he was like making a deal, and so I just find it ridiculous. What do you think of that whole thing with the FBI?
I think it's really ridiculous. I get what the comment that Comey or the FBI sent out was most emails were duplicates. Okay,
yeah.
What's the word you just used? 4-letter word, starts with M. Most. So what wasn't duplicate?
Yeah.
And now I understand maybe you shouldn't tell the American people because it could be detrimental to national security. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just it's weird.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Matt and I talked about this after our show last week. But they had it was either Weiner or his wife, his ex-wife, Huma. What's her last name? Abedin.
Yeah.
They had life insurance on the laptop. That's got to ring a bell.
Yeah.
That's got to ring. I mean, come on. If you don't think that's weird, then you obviously just aren't with what's going on in society, and you're just completely out of it. But I guess one thing I've kind of upset about that this election has done is it's really, really drawn lines. You've argued. I've had arguments, or I try to have arguments. I have conversations with other people about their views, which I would never have had.
Yeah.
It's this election alone, and there's a lot of people I know who are Democrats, and they go, listen, I'm not going to ever put up ads to support Clinton because I don't support Clinton.
Right.
But I don't like Trump. So I'll put up ads against Trump. I said, okay, I get that. And that's all idea is I don't want to vote for Clinton, but I have to because I don't like Trump. And then I know one individual, he goes, Jill Stein's a whack job. Gary, what's his? I can't think of his last name.
Who?
Gary.
Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson's another
Jill
wacko.
Stein, yeah.
And then he goes, and Trump's crazy. So he goes, I guess I have to vote for Clinton. I go, no, because this individual is a Sanders supporter. I go, no, if you want Sanders, write him in. It's not illegal to do that.
Yeah.
Write in Bart Simpson for
You could even write in yourself. I mean, people, as long as you vote for someone, it doesn't matter who, at least your voice was counted, and at least your vote was taken, taken in.
Also, vote for Dave Horvath 2016. You know, I am ready. If you haven't heard my strategies on foreign policy, it's pretty good. If you haven't asked me, I mean, like, I am awesome. It really is the best plan out there. It's the only plan out there. And obviously, if I'm not voted president, then you guys don't know what you're talking about, because I will save this country, because I will take us back from the corruption.
I agree. Yeah. But
see, I already have one supporter here, and you should see my other group of supporters. It is amazing, my plans. I'm going to save this country, and I'm going to get rid of all the corruption, and I'm going to get Clinton in jail.
All right, so we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more Election Day coverage. So thanks for joining us. We are recording on Ustream, and it'll be posted a little later if you want to catch it from the beginning. But we're also on Facebook Live, so feel free to tune into that as well. So we'll be right back.